Salut Forth Paladins, and welcome back to another episode of Starfleet Command, Orion Pirates Plus Mod. I'm Fleet Admiral Tirk of the battleship HMS Insouciant, as we continue our campaign against the Lyran Star Empire, and we are sieging the planet today of 1-3, after having created quite the little fiefdom over here, which contains the Lyran homeworld, so we're doing quite nicely at the moment. The Empire defense is down to 51, but we might be able to do something about that in today's episode, so let us set out further into space and then return exactly to the tile that we left, because we left in the middle of a siege, and we're returning for a planetary assault. Now, our battleship is quite decent at doing these sorts of planetary assaults. We have 6 forward-firing hellbores, which makes life just a little bit easier when it comes to that sort of thing, although it does still take a little while. We would prefer, of course, a non-PLPH. PLPH2, unfortunately, so we are going to have to battle that down. We're being escorted today by the Blood Cry. The Marak have come in force with one of their larger ships, although we are squaring off against the BBX. We're not quite certain which BBX it is, but we will find out. Well, by which I mean name, not necessarily. There's a whole host of BBX classes, because there isn't in this game. If you're a BBX, that's it. You don't get a BBX 1, 2, 3 alphabet soup. But that's all fine. We're going to wait until our probe's ready. Probe is ready, just to see whether or not he's got a buddy off over here. Although this is the planet with the gigantic ring on it, which has a habit of annihilating parts of the enemy defensive fleet, and that may actually be the case on this one. Or maybe not. I didn't actually see one load in, so maybe this is just a purely unfair battle that we're about to throw into him. So let us set up our defensive systems before he starts taking pot shots and dealing damage to them. So as much shield reinforcement as we can manage. We'll also throw in our standard 4 electronic countermeasure, 2 electronic countermeasure, because that seems to mess with the AI a pretty decent amount. Check our shield budget and start stealing from that so that we can get there a little bit faster, although we are waiting for the hellbores to charge. Are we looking at a bug? Yes, we are looking at a little bit of a vision glitch. One of our hellbores is fully charged, the other one is almost charged, but as you can see, it's not showing any progress at all, although this one tells us that we're doing quite fine. And hopefully by the time we actually hit range, we should be ready to rock and roll. Because he's a BBX, he'll have 2, maybe 4, I think it's 2, pseudo-frigates, and we should take care of those without too much damage. We could launch our fighters just to ensure it, but I'm going to see if I can't go for another single shot total kill like we got on that one episode now several episodes ago. So we're just maneuvering to the side, making him have to decide whether or not he wants to come towards us or towards the Blood Cry, because whichever one he picks, the other one is going to go in and, well, murder him. That is, of course, if the first one doesn't murder him right off the bat. As we have somewhat referenced by our top 8 battleships video, I do not think very highly of the Lyran battleship and view it as the worst battleship in the game for single player. Also because it's relatively easy to crack, and we killed one in one shot one time, so that was fun. We're going to slow down a little bit, give ourselves a little bit of forward defense, see if he's going to actually turn in towards us. It does look like he's making the turn, but he could always try and reverse it. I'm kind of hoping he does. If he makes that reversal turn, we'll get the shot on the side of him, and that'll be a nice weak area for us to lay into. Oh, nope, he's going right in for it. He's going aggressive. Let's see him pop it up. Turn that off. And 3, 2, 1, 0. Hello. And so we cut through with 214 damage. Pass on by. Fighters, do your thing. Let's launch the fighters. 2, 3, and 4. Ooh, we need to protect the forward shield because it's almost down. If you would do me a favor, fighters, and kill him before our forward shield drops, that'd be great. Is he activating his ESG? I saw a light change, but it's not really clear. So the fighter's just getting in there and having a field day with him as they lay into him with their hellbores. Looks like he's decided to task his pseudo-frigates to come towards us. He should have set them up to defend himself, because he's not going to be there. Oh, wow. Wow, that knocked out the shield pretty significantly. Was not expecting quite so much damage. Okay, let's call the fighters home. They're now useless because they do not properly engage planets, so we have no real good control over them. So we're just going to get them all back on board. That's the first squadron coming in. The second squadron, there's number 3. Where's our 4th? Where is the 4th little wayward child? I don't think... Well, I know he didn't get killed because he's still on my defense screen. Oh, they're there. Okay. Lovely. They were both coming in from the side. And this one got down to 3 fighters. So he took quite the pounding before he managed to pull away. We're going to quickly go back to normal mode, and in fact then I'm going to select my fusion cannons and turn them off because we don't need them at this point. Fighters, come on home. You're wanted to return. Great, so we're going to have to babysit him a bit. So return to me. Are you going to actually listen? Are you going to come around? Hopefully he will. It's a little bit of a tight return radius. It may confuse him a little bit, but I'm hoping he'll sort himself out. So with the fusion cannons offline, we actually save an absolute ton of power. We can get much closer to the planet than we were before. Other than that, though, there are no other weapons that we can kind of just shut off for maximum effectiveness. So come back on board, little one. I want to get you back in so we can start doing, like, kill the planet things. Lovely. All right, target the planet. And maximum speed of time. Not yet within range of our Hellbores, but we will be shortly. We can sap the shield budget a little bit more. Although, yeah, we're going to have to go to maximum electronic countermeasure because the planet don't care. So we're just going to have to shut him down alike. So fire the Hellbores. And just have it start bouncing off all over the planet. This will be great, wonderful, perfect. Start to slow down. We don't want to get too close, but we do kind of want to get close. We want to get within a range of at least 15. That'll increase the firepower that we can actually dish out using our Hellbores. Oh, maybe close than that is probably a mistake. So we'll sit right here and be perfectly happy to do so. Unfortunately, sieges will now take just a little while longer than we'd prefer. I'm gonna make sure that we overload the phasers just to have them all set up. I would launch out fighters to have them try and knock down the shields of this planet, but that would not work. See, the AI does not like planets. It's very afraid of them. It's afraid of anything that it can crash into and explode with, and planets are one of those things. So the designers of the original game were very smart and said, okay, you should fear planets, don't go anywhere near them, and so the AI won't. So as you can see, we've got the Bloodcry behind us. He's 10 behind us, which means he's hanging out at a range of about 25, 30-ish, and he does not want to get much closer than that. Oh, no, he did come closer, but he's going to try and avoid it. He'll just loop back and forth way out there, which really kind of sucks because, say, you've got Hellbores. They're much less effective from out there, although at least they are somewhat effective way out there. Other weapon systems include phasers and photon torpedoes from the Federation, although they can occasionally add in things, but the worst offender for this one is any plasma armed race, because they stay outside of the range of their plasma torpedoes being effective, and so it's like, well, this is somewhat pointless, because the AI just will not help you out with it. It's unfortunate, but you can kind of work by it eventually, just by virtue of if you're being escorted by plasma races, generally you are a plasma race. Not always, but in general. So let me think. There are 2 plasma races? 3 plasma races. You gotta include the ISC. The Federation dabbles in them a little bit, but the 2 main ones are the Romulan and the Gorn. They take completely different ideas on how to fight Warville. The Romulans, of course, sneaky, as Romulans want to be. They have the cloaking device, which is fantastic, which allows you to basically bombard a planet with anything that has, well, 3 transporters. Makes it easy, but I suppose you could do it with 1 so long as you get enough Marines. With other shields, by the way. So already his shields have collapsed. We will be able to continue to just bore into the side of him, and he shall not stand against us. The Romulans actually won our top 8 battleships list with the King Condor at the very beginning because of that shield device. The fact that you can just drop into cloak and take all that damage reduction and being unable to be targeted by several other races while you're under cloak is stupidly powerful against the AI. Don't know how that's going to fare against human opponents. We're going to find out eventually, but against the AI, they just do not know how to cope with a cloaking opponent. The Gorn found themselves at number 3, and I've mentioned this on occasion. I'm not super happy with placing them there. I think they may have to drop down a slot beneath the battleship carrier of the Hydrons, purely because, well, the absurdity that we saw that the Monarch class could do with one-shotting a battleship. I still don't think it's better than a B-11. That B-11, the super battleship of the Klingons, is rather impressive, to say the least. Continue to bombard, 24 damage doing through, not bad at all. We're not quite chewing through his armor just yet. We're working on it. We're getting there bit by bit, but it's going to take a little while before we actually start knocking down the defensive systems. I'm really tempted to just start getting a little bit closer. Increase the amount of damage we can potentially do just by getting nice and close on top of him. Next range bracket is 8. Ooh, survive that close to him? He's certainly not focusing his fire in a way that it would make me think that he normally would. I mean, he's only plinking away with 1 shot at a time. But that could change, and the closer we get to the planet, the more weapons he would probably devote to us, because we would be a more tempting target for him. We are within our range of 10 at this, or almost. So we're going to get accurate shield data coming up soon, so that'll be helpful. We'll actually be able to know what the heck's going on. And there we are. So, yep, he is maximizing the amount of defense that he's putting into it, and we're just going to try and sneak into that range of 8. Because once we're there, we do even more damage, and that's just a lot of fun. Also, we increase in accuracy. The Hellbore is one of those weapons that goes accuracy and damage the closer you get. 42, and all stop. hold way out here, just beyond transporter range. Actually, if we were to fire all of our phasers, we might be able to punch through the shield, but then we would have basically no defense at that point. Because, well, he would annihilate us. We could set our phaser capacitor to a triple charge only, so it wouldn't affect us too much. But I have some fear. Besides, eventually we will knock down this shield just through attrition alone. The Hellboard doesn't really care, and that's our primary siege weapon, although it does look like he's really struggling to maintain that forward shield. Or forward shield, that whatever shield. Yeah, actually, according to the MFD, this is indeed his forward shield. So if the planet were to fly, this would be the direction that we would be facing. That would be terrifying if the planet could move, because then we would have serious problems. If the planet was able to move, then we'd be dead. Okay, here's my plan. I'm going to set my phaser capacitor basically to off, so that I can preserve as much power as possible. We're going to make sure that the phasers are set to overload, and then we're going to select the phasers and the Hellbores, and we're going to see if we can't break him open. So wait for him to shoot. Ah, wasn't quite able to do it. So a bit unfortunate there. We did weaken it pretty considerably, so maybe that'll have some wonderful effect on a future thing, but I'm going to start stealing power away from this forward shield so that I can start charging up the phaser capacitor. If you can get it back up to charge, that would be helpful. Although he is really struggling to keep it powered up. That's very nice. So if we can get enough power into it, then we might be able to knock it down entirely. Or, you know, the blood cry? Yeah, the blood cry might be able to take care of it for us, just because his constant little plinking, and he clearly has lost most of his power. I mean, look at all the phaser 4 systems that he's lost at this point. So a couple more barrages should be able to work it out. I actually could fire another phaser blast. Oh, nope, it's gone anyway. Okay, so the shields of the planet have collapsed. How many Marines are we dealing with at this point? We're looking at a grand total of 16, so we're working him down pretty steadily. And he's down to basically 4? Yeah, 4 phaser 4s. So we're going to wait. Yeah, we're fully charged on the phaser capacitor once again. So we're going to charge everything and fire. Down to 12. How much power am I currently sitting at? Because we are now charging our other defensive systems. He's shooting, but it's only intermittently at this point, because we've knocked out most of his defenses. We're going to get a little bit closer so we can start using other weapon systems. So, okay, that did it. Phaser capacitor to full charge at this point. All up and select. Blast away, even the fusion cannons, because we've broken the planet. The planet is now defeated. We just need to finish killing off. There we go. Marines over. All stop. That's a planet successfully taken. Not terrible at all. Single battleship tried to defend it, but, well, at the end of the day, it was a battleship carrier and a heavy dreadnought versus a single battleship, and, well, we've sort of pulled off something similar to that. They probably can't. Let's be honest with ourselves. Alrighty, it should be 495, I believe, for prestige count on this one, if we're lucky. Yep, 495 prestige does reward to our bank account. Puts us at 12,000. We're getting close to being able to afford a second battleship carrier. That will be a lot of fun. Pop back over here. Take a shipyard assault. We must destroy the place where they are constructing all of these battleships. They cannot be allowed to stand.
All hands battle stations.
Well now, they decided that that had to be allowed to stand. So we're squaring off against 3 battleships. And it's us and a friendly battleship, the Weak Slayer. Unfortunately, it's a Marak Battleship X. The Marak BBX is actually the weakest of the Marak battleships. Well, actually, no, that's not true at all. The normal BB is the weakest of them. But the BBM placed higher on our list because of the MIRV launchers. And while he's going to have a lot of sustained firepower, he's not going to have a whole heck of a lot of an effect. We are going to have to use our fighters very aggressively on this one. We're also going to have to kind of hope for a single hit, single kill. But we are outnumbered 2 to 3, so yeah, let's get the shields up. We are gonna have to kind of put on our serious face for this one just a little bit, because this could get ugly fast. So let's see how much power we have to spare. We're gonna steal some of that. Lovely. How much time until we're ready for launch? So let's get all the fighters launched and ready. That way we can deploy them easily. They'll basically overrun the target and break it, hopefully, with their phasers, because they're packing a ton of phaser Gs, and that'll be very helpful. I'm somewhat tempted to go full electronic countermeasure and then buff up the ECCM, but at the end of the day, that's a losing battle because you get negatives to your hit anyway. And it does look like we have 20 fighters. Good. So we didn't lose any in that one battle against the previous battleship. That is eating up his fighters, or his fire, which is not a terrible thing. We may spend some of our fighters to win this. And that'll be worth it in my book. So we need to be ready with the Hellbores to crush his ESG. Looks like our friend battleship, what's her name? The Weak Slayer. We're going to have to keep that in mind. So the Weak Slayer is coming in to help us out. He's already started weakening one of the shields pretty considerably. So let's get ready to rumble. I want to keep my fighters back just a bit. Not yet, guys. Ah, screw it. Go in for him. What's the range? 3.5. Close it, close it, close it. Now let the fighters do all the work. I'm tempted to do it. Nope. Not yet. Phasers. Got him. Okay, you. Get home. Right now. Daddy's calling home. So get back in. So we managed to save our heavy weapons, which is great. We actually need to recall most of our fighters at this point. So, return to me. Ooh, we lost one group. Hopefully we can get all the rest home for a follow-up barrage. And he is running from me, which is the smartest thing he can do at the moment. Because by running from us, he's actually able to defend himself better by keeping himself out of fusion cannon range. If we can get him within fusion cannon range... I'm waiting, I'm waiting. Okay, can't wait anymore. Open him up. 75 damage, come over to the other one. And Hellbore's back to normal. I need that power back. Okay, phasers, start just plinking away. We're going to steadily be aggressive on this one. I think we've lost one of our group of fighters. Yeah, so we've lost two groups of fighters so far. Not the end of the world, because they did manage to basically kill a battleship all on their lonesome, and we are now really in tight with another battleship, which we are continuing to just batter away at. Our fusion cannons are not yet on the charge. Let's actually set them to normal. I can't sustain an overload charge, so I need a little bit more defense on this one. Weak Slayer is definitely struggling with that one. He has decided to hold on to me. I'll stop. That's it. Forward chill is down. Oh, crap. So we do have missile fire coming in from abroad. How much longer until I can get a little bit more assistance from my fighters? Shuttle check. Shortly. Engines up. Let's go forward. We need to get back underway with repairs. This, and then this, and then this. We're basically out of Hellbores. Oh, please tell me you're not bumping me. He's bumping. Okay, we need to get active on Marines then. Okay, I need the following things dead. That. Keep the phaser fire going. Ooh, we're ready with the fusion cannon if we can get the range on. And those disruptors are really laying into us. We are very badly beaten. Fighters, go. I think we've got him though. Okay, that was one of his defensive things. His suit of frigates that our fighters decided to go for. I'd prefer the fighters to go and attempt to target the battleship so that we can win. We need to keep phasers as a primary repair going on. I'm not even paying attention to the Weak Slayer because I kind of need to pay attention mostly to him. I'm really hoping that the Weak Slayer is doing alright, because if not, then we're in trouble. Looks like, is that our Marines going out? Yeah, they are. Okay, so did we get his ESG at this point? He's down to basically almost nothing. I could go for a little bit more of it. Lost that shield. Probably didn't need to, but we're going to roll with it anyway. Keep the repairs on coming. And our phaser fire is very limited at this point. What do we got left? Fusion cannon on the port side's about to come up. Okay, we lost the last of our fighter, well, the third of our fighter squadrons, but we're alive. How's our buddy over here doing? Last fighter, let's spend him. We got no Hellbores at this point, but we're okay. Keep the engine repairs going. We have a lot of engine power to repair, and I think the fighters are going to clean him up. Port side managed to finally fire up his fusion cannon, and you are set to attack, correct? So get in there tight, work him down, and we've got him. I mean, maybe not, but I think we've got him. Slow down, so we got a really decent forward shield at this point. Okay, there we go. Wasn't that rough? Okay, let's get the repairs really rolling underway, so I need... Actually, not this yet. I want this, and then this, and this. So phasers first, then the Hellbores. Fighters... return. So this was a bit of an expensive mission, because now we've got to rebuy all of these fighters, but at the end of the day, we managed to take on 3 battleships with 2. So, not terrible. Probably could have rolled that one a little bit better had we managed to string them out a bit. Maybe use our fighters a bit more aggressive to send all of our fighters on one while we sort of ran away, kept the range open, distracted them a little bit, and then come back. But at the end of the day, not terrible. Not perfect, but not terrible. There's a better way to do that, I'm sure. And we definitely were aided by the weak slayer on this one because of the tactics that we took of being rather slow when we were moving in on things. So, not the worst thing ever, not the best thing ever, though. Let's make sure that all of our phasers are set for point defense at this point. I want to have all the defense that I can possibly get my hands on. Because if we manage to get plinked at by these guys, we're going to have a really bad day. Okay, let's start stealing from the shield budget and give me a maximum electronic countermeasure so that we can just nail down these star docks first. I'm going to go in a line for once instead of going to the center of the one than the other one. Because that that will actually save us some travel time. At least I think, anyway. I think that's going to be how it works. Maybe not. But yeah, going to the corner first and then taking care of them. Looks like they're focusing more on the weak slayer, who is a little bit weak at the moment themselves. Alright, so our Hellbores are slowly coming back to us, but we are definitely going to go and return home after this mission. Oh, one of the Vizslas got through. That's cute. He had a missile set just yet? I think he might be. Unless he's saving it for point-blank range operations, which he might be. I mean, that's always a choice that the AI can make. Let's see if we can blitz this thing down even without overloaded fusion cannons. If we can, it's going to be a little bit of a luck thing. We're going to have to roll well on the damage chart because a couple of our Hellbores are not online at the moment. Okay, I'll stop. Got it. Lovely. Next one. Let's get the engines rolling. So we can do it in basically one shot, which makes the battleship carrier of the Hydrons so very lovely. This point defense is really struggling to try and keep up, but they're working it. They're doing fine, right? Oh, wow. He lost a lot of those AMDs. He had 8 of them, and he's down to 2. You know, if he had all 8 of those, he would be completely invulnerable to the incoming missiles. Just would not care at all. I don't even think he'd run out of ammo given the number of AMDs he actually has and how efficient he'd be able to actually make it. So again, we're going to pull in nice and close to this guy and turn him off. Last Stardock. We could have gone for captures on this one, and in hindsight probably should have done that. The weak slayer was weak enough he probably wouldn't have been able to destroy the Stardock before we managed to get finished with it. But this is fine as well. At this moment, we're over 12,000. We're over 12,000 prestige. We're really not looking to buy another Monarch just because you then have to entrust the AI to do something, and you really don't want to trust the AI with anything you don't have to. So adding them to our lineup as having the AI control things, probably not the most brilliant plan we'd ever have. So we're probably going to stick it to just one. Unless we could buy a couple of cheap escorts. One thought has been XCBs, because they would just add in a ton of firepower. But I'm not quite certain what the AI would then start throwing up against us. 9 battleships would probably not be in a super fun thing for us to have to fight through. 450 prestige is our reward. Empire defense is down to 41, so they are on the run a little bit. And we will continue that pressure until we eventually move up here. And that'll be most of the Lyran planets. But that's going to do it for today's episode. I've been Tarek. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to receive a notification every time I post one of these videos, press that little bell icon, leave a comment, and I will see you all in the next episode.